So I have been working on the back a little bit here while I waited. There was about a week period of time there. And as you know, I did this area a couple of weeks ago, but I cleared out all this stuff here and trimmed out this little area here and spray painted this old bird feeder that I'd had around for a long time. I poured a concrete block and adhered it onto here. So if a big old crow comes along and he decides he wants to hang out on it, it's not gonna bump it off. So the little dog next door is barking. The little dog next door barks constantly, actually. I'm used to it. I don't mind it, actually. If anyone was ever creeping around the backyard, that little dog would light up right away. Anyway, here we go. Working a little bit on refurbishing these pieces. This is an old piece. It was all dilapidated. So using it as a pattern, made some nice pieces. And we're going to continue to, got some hardware this afternoon. I'll show you that. I'm going to reassemble this bench. Let's go. Okay, so I'm just kind of mocking it up a little bit there. And I'm so tempted to varathane the wood, but I know better. That it won't hold up. So I'm going to use like a dark gray acrylic enamel paint on the wood slats. Now, if it was the entrance of someone's home that was inside or at least under cover, then I'd say, you know, go ahead and just put a varathane on, a polyurethane. But when it's outside, you know, you might get 2 years out of it, and then you got to tear it all apart or at least refinish it again. So keep in mind, this is spruce, so it's not really... you know, the most optimum wood to be using. It's probably the cheapest possible wood that I could use. I mean, it's basically 2x4s that I've ripped and cut to size. So it's going gray enamel. Be good for 4 or 5 years instead. All right, so that's kind of coming together. Okay, so instead of painting them solid gray, I paint them and then I rub them down a little bit with lacquer thinner, and that way you can see the grain popping out there. And I personally like wood grain. Gives it some artistic aesthetic and looks good. So what's what we're gonna do. All right, hey, there it is. One refurbished bench. So took me about 6 hours. I shouldn't have done it, but I need to have a little fun once in a while. You know, makes Jim a dull boy if if he's on the grind. I hope you like it. All right, there's the blocks, and believe me, it's a lot more comfortable to sit on, and they'll be construction adhered into these pockets that I carved for the feet. I carved little pockets so that they don't slide around. They'll adhere in there quite nicely. Okay, there it is in its setting. You can see how those blocks gave it a little bit of height. And so there's another 150 feet that I'll never have to mow. Put a nice thick coat of like landscape fabric slash wood wrap on there. You know, I just try to reduce the amount of square footage of property that I have to deal with anytime I can. Looks good. It smells really good right now. There's another one off the list. Like I said, I shouldn't be doing landscaping. I should be working on the house, but I'm going to get right on that. Just took a little bit of a break while I was waiting for the building inspector to come and check out the plumbing. I just took on this, so it's really fun to do for me. And I got a little mulch left, so I'm going to run a trim around here, up there, and connect it to those rocks Put a little leftover mulch that I have in there. It'll look good under the bench, I think. So there's the landscaping, and I had a good time, but it's time to go back to the house with the refurbished bench. And I love this trim. It defines everything, allows you to stay organized. A little walking path through there. So, not bad, but I gotta stop. They go on forever. A lot of fun though, a lot of fun. Well, this plum tree is just absolutely loaded this year. I've never known this plum tree to have so many pieces of fruit on it. And it's so cool to be able to go out into your backyard, pick a plum. Perfect. I wonder what it would be like to live in a southern place that has citrus. Go in your backyard and pick an orange. That'd be so cool. Well, here in British Columbia, we have plums and apples and grapes and a few things, but not as much variety, I would think, as in the south. Something I'd like to see someday. Anyway, it's a wonderful place we live in, and it's neat to be able to just enjoy a piece of fruit off your tree. And this year is just bonkers. Okay guys, back to reality. Every one of these ABS vents has to terminate through the roof. That's the final and last thing that the inspector wants me to do before he can completely pass the plumbing. These vents allow your system to get air, so that, and also vent out fumes. So the way those work is they go through the roof, and then I'll cut this boot to the proper size of the pipe, and then it's fastened down to the metal roof in between the roof ridges, which is 14 inches, and then you goop it down. I don't have the goop here, but it's downstairs, and then you anchor the boot down to the roof. And I'm not sure if you goop around here, but maybe I'll have to check that out. So that's what I'm doing. So in order to make sure that I get between the two ridges, I recognize these little silver screws as the screws that we use to anchor the roof. And since they're 14 inches, I'm going to drill the hole right here. I'm going to drill a pilot hole from underneath. Then I'm going to go up top and drill a hole down through the bottom. That'll get my ABS through the roof. Then I just have to connect the dots, fasten the boot down, and that'll be vent number 1 completed. So I have to go up on the roof on a hot sunny day on the metal, 5 feet away from certain danger. So it's been a year or more since I've been up on the roof. Let's do it. Woo! High up, baby. All right, let's go do this thing. I don't know if I'll be able to film because I'm kind of close to the edge, but I'll try. Yeah, it would have been better if it was centered, but there's still plenty of room for this little boot that I have to work on here. Okay, there it is. I put a piece of tape at 12 inches because that's how high it's supposed to protrude out of the roof. So when I'm underneath there, I can basically tell. I cut the hole slightly bigger because, believe it or not, this metal can move up to 1/4 of an inch in rapid temperature changes. And you could hear it creaking. That's why they put little slots under the hidden anchors, under the ridges, so they can actually move back and forth a little bit. So the rubber boot will cover everything and it won't matter. But if that metal roof moves, the rubber of the boot will move instead. So there it is. Went pretty good. It's interesting. After 4 years, I'm still learning. I'm still kind of in the unknown zone. But if you watched every video from the very beginning, I guarantee you would be more prepared to build a house without any experience than not. Because I have been pretty much through every stage I have described what I'm going through. And so I know what's behind me. I know how I got here. But it's still dark ahead. And it's a lot of fun. It's also kind of frustrating sometimes when you don't know what you're doing. The hardest part about it is you think you're going to make a mistake and screw stuff up. But I have learned that if you just do it anyway, you might have to do it again. But it's not the end of the world 90% of the time, 99% of the time. So still moving forward. Looks pretty good. Okay, so there's a shot of the vent from the attic angle. And it's as simple as that. Done. It took quite a while, actually. Longer than I thought. I didn't think it was going to take 5 hours. But anyway, there it is, all done. All caulked underneath and around the edge. Use my favorite product you've heard me talk about before, Lexel. Always 100% happy with it in any roof situation. And it's my go-to stuff. I love it. So that's it, guys. One roof vent, 3-inch roof vent installed. There's still 3 more to go, but I think I'm going to tie them all together and just go through the roof once with all 3. I'll tie them all in the attic area and then one through the roof. So this allows air for you to get into your plumbing system. When you turn the water on or flush the toilet, you need a certain amount of air. So there's no air pockets that build up in your system. And it also vents out any sewer smells that might be coming out of your house. So you don't smell them. They're up and away and out of your house. I think that's going to be the end of this episode. I've been pretty busy lately, so I can put out a little bit more content than usual. Thanks for checking it out. I'm up here on the roof on a beautiful August 1st, 2025. And I'm still going. Thank you for joining me on this. Again, I'll see you next episode. If I could stay alive.
Oh, what a feeling, the power of thought. What a feeling if you believe or not. What a force to be reckoned with.